What is up, you guys? It is Luis Alvarado here, and I have my buddy Brandon Hatcher, who's joining me today in the live. Brandon, say what's up, man.
What's going on, everybody?
What's up? What's up? Yeah, man. So, guys, Brandon and I connected several months ago online, and I was always like, "Yo, we need to do something together. We need to finally connect," and the time has finally come. So, we're here in a live stream together, and we're just gonna be talking about digital marketing. You know what we do, speaking each other's brain. And if you guys are jumping on and you catching the replay, hashtag Team Replay, but make sure to drop a comment below and just ask us any questions. We'll be sure to, provide as much feedback as we can. And I just landed like 2 hours ago from Chicago, which was freaking amazing. But Brandon, man, give them a little background as to what you do and what you're all about.
Yeah, man. So I'll just tell you the quick rundown of my story here, man. I'm 26. For those of you that may not know, I want to see if I can possibly get this video to show to my audience too, man. So I think this would be pretty enjoyable. But dude, I dropped out of school. It was actually less than a year ago now. I was going for biology, man. Just to give you kind of my background. I don't even know if you know this, but I had dropped out and realized that I was more entrepreneurial, but I had kind of suppressed that my whole life because just from the pressure from my parents and society and friends to go and to honestly to be a doctor, like I had that pressure, man. Like, and I was going for biology, I was going to do physical therapy, and I realized, like I said, this isn't really me. It's not what I'm into. I'm into, I want to start a business. I want to, help people with what I'm interested in, which was social media. And so I was like, okay, I'll switch to marketing. I'll switch to business. But then I quickly realized, I was learning more from, watching YouTube than I was the professors about, marketing and different things like that. So dropped out, man, started, business. I was always into social media since like YouTube '05, man, when I was like a sophomore in high school when YouTube came out, man. And I'm like, dude, this is amazing watching people like Smosh and Ryan Higa, people like that. I'm like, dude, I can do that. And of course, Facebook in '07 comes out. Instagram is my favorite place. That came out. I'm like into photography and video. So I'm like, man, this is my thing. You know what I'm saying? This is me a chance for me to share my art and things like that. I like to dance too. So,
Yeah.
yeah.
Oh, guys, also another thing, man. Brandon gets down. For those of you that know, like, I love dancing, and Brandon also gets down.
Yeah, man. So that was another way we had connected, man, back then. I remember us talking about that. But yeah, I thought, man, this social media thing is really cool. I get to, share my life and my passions with other people and maybe possibly inspire some people. And, was following people like Ty Lopez, other people of that nature. And I'm like, man, maybe if I can learn more of the marketing side of social media, maybe I could take my talents and passions and skill sets. Maybe I can help other people with their social media.
Mm-hmm.
So that seed was kind of planted from him and from other people I followed. And I thought, man, I always wanted to start a business. This is what I'm good at. It's like, let's just try it. I'll just for entertainment here. You might find this interesting. I was sitting at a restaurant I used to work at one day with my girlfriend, and I had been following people like Ty, and people like that online for so long, and I was learning so much, getting so much knowledge, and one day she looked at me and she said, Brandon, you know so much, but you don't do anything, and I was like, you're absolutely right, and so that's when I took the plunge and started really started to take action, and started the business, man, and kind of just been like working on scaling it out. So it's kind of, I'm in the middle of it right now. So yeah, I'm loving it, dude. Loving it. So
That's really cool, man. And for you to have a background with that, like knowing, and I'm interested also to see where your like dancing career fit into this, into like your social media journey. Because for me personally, I didn't know that I could help people with social media, right? And like for me, I was just dancing. I was also going my first year. I was a biomedical sciences major, so I was gonna go to medical school, and like my parents too, like they were like, they wanted me to be a doctor and all this, but at the same time, I was starting to get so many gigs. I was getting booked for all these performances, and I was competing. I was traveling, and dance was bringing me so much opportunity. I was like, this is my passion. I cannot be a doctor. You know, like I can't continue going to school. So then I went ahead and I switched majors. I switched to engineering, which I love math, so I really enjoyed that, and it gave me more room. It was still very tough, but it like gave me a sense of calmness, like knowing that I didn't have to keep on going after undergrad, like, you know, keep on pursuing something. So then with dance, you know, like as artists, we got to put ourselves out there constantly. And that's when I started becoming just good at social media by not really knowing that there's tactics behind it, there's techniques. There's all this magic that happens in order to like grow. So I was just kind of like doing it just because that's what the field that I was in. And then I learned, oh shit, I can make money off of this. And I was getting pretty good at it. So that's where like my dance and social media started off. And yeah, what about you, man?
Yeah, it's kind of similar, man. Isn't it funny how that ends up working out, man? It's so crazy. Like I had started really taking I use Instagram for example a lot because that's my favorite place. But Instagram, man, I was like, okay, I'm into photography, videography. I like to play guitar, piano. I love to dance so much, man. And I was like, well, this is my chance to just express myself, basically, just express myself, and just like see how how many people I can reach, um, and with the message, and just sharing what I'm interested in, and man, that's kind of really where I started on social media, was just kind of like showcasing myself and what I'm like into. But then I realized, oh, I can like inspire people, or maybe I can help someone get over their fear of worrying what other people think, and just do what they care about, whether that's dance, whether that's starting a business, or whatever, so yeah.
Yeah, no, yeah, man, totally identify with that. Um, you guys, if anybody has a question, I know you guys are watching, give us a heart, and then drop a comment. If you have, we're just gonna be chilling, just talking. You know. So let's say what's up to some people. Joel's here, Victor, Ross, Frank, Ryan. How's it going, you guys? Thank you all for tuning in. As more people keep joining us. Oh,
Awesome.
what up, Zach? Cool. But yeah, man, what's something super exciting that you're working on at this very moment?
Um, so I was in Vegas for Grant Cardone's 10X conference, which was amazing.
Oh man, how was it? I keep hearing so many great stuff about the people that went.
Dude, it was good. I didn't go last year to the very first one, but one of my buddies, I'm sure you probably know who Jaden Gross is. He was like, dude, he went to the first one. He was like, man, you really need to go to the second one, because he got so much value out of it. And I was like, of course, man, I'm gonna be there. And man, not to be honest, like, take the speakers out of the equation, and it was still like so worth it, man. Like, just the networking, meeting other like-minded entrepreneurs. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Um, so that it was amazing, man. Just to connect with other people. I'm like sitting here with like multimillionaires, like not even the speakers, just like in the audience, man. Like, so many people are like super successful, and it's just great to be around those people. You know what I'm saying? Law of 33%. But that was amazing. But what I was gonna say was, I was sitting there at the conference, and I got an email. Some people that watch this may or may not know this if you know me, but uh, I've kind of been in contact with some people at VaynerMedia for a while, working some things out, doing some things with them, some projects. But I got an email from someone at VaynerMedia, which is obviously Gary Vee's agency, and they said, hey, we want you to come to New York to look at maybe doing a project with us for a few months. And so that's while I'm sitting there in Vegas at Grant's conference. And so of course I was like, I'll be there. So
That was recent.
yeah. So I just that's something I'm working on right now, man. I went up there and met with them. Just got back the other day from there, and that's something I'm working on right now, doing some video and different things like that for a startup that they kind of have within VaynerMedia. So that's kind of something. I can't really say that much about it, to be honest, but that's something that I'm been super excited to to mess around with, because those are some cool people up there, man. I'm sure a lot of people know who Gary Vee is, so that's pretty interesting, I think. So
Yeah, no, that dude is
yeah,
he's he,
inspirational, man, for sure.
yeah, he's dope. Yeah, I remember watching. I saw your vlog when the first time that you guys met.
Yeah, 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 yeah.
How long ago was that? That first meeting.
First time I met Gary was in September.
Oh,
Um,
a few
yeah,
months ago.
yeah, and I had went to go here. It was just a conference that he was speaking at up in New York, and it was a big real estate type audience, and I wanted to go meet people because I'm moving to New York this summer, so wanted to just connect with more people. And Gary was obviously speaking, so I was like, yeah, I want to go see that, And so I go there, and he didn't really get a chance to connect with him because so many people. But I ended up meeting him out in the street, kind of near Times Square. And long story short, he invited me up to the office, and we got to hang out for a little while, and just kind of been jamming with his team ever since then, man. Just connecting with people, man. That have similar interests, and I think that's what it's all about. Just super fun to just get out there and meet other people that like what you like and believe in the same things that you believe, as far as like social media and things like that. So yeah.
Man, can't agree with you. Like, yes, so this week, I didn't know what the heck was gonna happen when I went to Chicago. I was literally just gonna go up there and film some really dope videos, get some great content, experience the city. It's somewhere I've never ever been before.
Yeah.
And then the way that I closed out, what's up, Rob? The way that everything, like my trip came to an end was last night. I was with like I would say 6 other entrepreneurs. We had dinner and then we went to like this like art gallery place, and in there we just the exchange of ideas. Like there's always like layers to the different communities and people that I hang out with, right? The masses think a certain way, they have these certain beliefs, they know all these things. Next, you have these other people that have more clarity in their life, and it's always been like that. The more that I learn, the more that I'm surrounded by different environments, like the ideas that exchange and the ideas that are common within them that might not be common to the people that are like in another layer. It's insane, the gap. And so these people that, like last night, the everything that was mentioned and everything that was spoken in that room is something that I've never in my life experienced or heard about, like just in real life. And then to have that, man, I was just like, wow. Like, I'm a strong believer in like what I believe, I'm able to create around me, and everything around me is a product of what I've been able to create, because of all my work and all my friendships and relationships that I've created. And so just being able to be there. Do you happen to know Arnie Giske?
Arnie, I'm not sure.
He runs like the biggest, like he has like 50K members in his entrepreneur community.
Uh-huh.
And so he made it out there, and I was actually hanging with him in the Bahamas. So it was cool being able to meet there, and then we're also going to be meeting in Orlando for funnel hacking. Are you going to funnel hacking, by the way?
On the funnel hacking, man, but Tony's going to be there, right? Tony Robbins.
Oh man, yeah, Tony Robbins is going to
Nice.
be there.
That's nice for sure. Yeah.
Yeah. So I was with there, and then I met Josh 40. He also runs like a social media group, and we all got all to connect. We're hanging, and then just being able to see all these people that these relationships, friendships. Again, like me and you will one day get to hang in person. Like we've met online, but I'm sure like when we hang in person, we're gonna kick it. It's gonna be such a great time.
Yep.
And so just being able to do that, like meeting and keep on leveling up and establishing these relationships, completely, it's what fulfills me in this journey.
I think it's I wouldn't say it's anything short of necessary, man. Like you have to go out and meet other people. You can only go so far alone, to be honest.
Yep.
But yeah, I think if you can, I think one of the quickest ways to change your situation, just to give like a little bit of value here for anybody that happens to be watching, man. I think if you're in a situation that you're not happy in whatever you're doing, whatever it may be, one of the quickest ways you can change that is to change your environment. We obviously it's becoming kind of cliche now to hear this quote, but the average of the 5 people you spend the most time with. But it's so true though, man. Like who you surround yourself with in your environment is what you are and what you become. So yeah, I think it's super important, man, for sure, definitely.
Super, super. All right, we got a question from Joel. He says, let's see. I'm gonna pull it up. I have some coworkers and employees that post in groups. I don't have enough to pay for ads. So my question is, when posting in these groups, what kind of copyright should I use?
Kind of copyright should I use?
You want to go? I can kick this one off.
Yeah, dude, go ahead.
So Joel, check this out, man. There's no like it isn't about the copy, right? When you show up in groups, every single group has a different niche, right? Every single group has a different focus, and the value that you can contribute, depending on what you're doing, is totally different. And depending on the objective as to why you're posting in that group, um, all that matters. So it's not necessarily just about the copy, and also you don't need the way that I've grown this group. I have never run any ads, no paid advertising, right? It's all been organic. People have found this group. I've never even told people to join it. It's just been like, not even my friends. I just like, hey, there's this is here, or people just see it because of the search bar, or when they see me in other groups and become active, they go to my profile, and then my profile say, hey, I have this group, and so they're able to join. So it's all been organic, no paid advertising. And then the way that you post in other groups is, one, you always gotta, as we say often, you lead with value first, right? So why are you posting in other groups? If you wanna keep providing for other people and you start showing up, people are gonna start noticing you, especially if you are very helpful and you keep asking questions, right? Your name just keeps popping up over and over again, and then people just start hitting you up because they notice that, hey, this dude is pretty knowledgeable what he does. So I'm gonna go ahead and, like, that's what I would suggest if you're starting out too. If people are just starting their own personal brand, try to help as much as you can. And the best way to do it is specifically for like niches. You can find on Facebook, literally use that search bar. You type in whatever you want, and there's a community already. Like, you don't need to find if you're in business, you don't need to find your customers. That you can use LinkedIn, but specifically here on Facebook, that's kind of like how that game works, right? You already have all the people who might end up being your buyers are already hanging out in these communities, and they already know and trust the leader of that community. So if you can also build a relationship from there, like more and more opportunities will start happening for you. And then the other objective would just be to just stay relevant, stay top of mind. You can show up in groups, ask questions, just show your face, let them know what you're about. Like, there's this part of traveling. I'm able to, and I think I'm breaking up. Am I good?
You did for a second, but I think you're good now. I think you're back.
Okay, cool. So yeah, like there's this traveling group, right? And I just post like, hey, I'm here, I'm there. Like, where are you guys right now? Like, just make conversation. Just treat it as this is your group of friends, and you guys just want to stay in touch with each other. Just look at it like.
So Lewis told you what to do, so I'm just going to add to that and tell you what not to do. So I see a lot of people and Lewis is the guy with the Facebook group. I was telling him before we got on how I wanted to start one as well, just because providing value for others and just building your own reputation. But there are a lot of people that some people ask me this question. Like I want to promote my business, or what I do. I want to use Facebook groups to get more business, but I see a lot of people that just go into random groups. They search groups and they're spamming. Hey, this is what I do. Message me for my rates. And it's probably, I think Lewis would probably agree that that might be a quick way to like
I'll block you right off the bat. I'll block you immediately. You will never see this group ever again in your life.
Exactly. But dude, people actually come in with that strategy, believe it or not, man. Because I don't know, like they think that's the shortcut, and that I don't know, but like Lewis was saying though, 100%, man. If you're bringing value to people, that like he was saying, people are going to notice and people are going to appreciate that. So I think that that's definitely a good rule of thumb for sure.
Yeah, and then the reason why we do it too is not just because yeah, this is my group and I just want to talk about myself. Like, no, like I encourage people to always, I bring people to provide value for you guys. Because if everybody starts promoting themselves and it's like, okay, where's the value here? It becomes flooded with a bunch of people just putting out promotional stuff. And what makes this community so valuable is that everybody's sharing things that can help you. It could help you take your next step. It can help you discover a new idea that you may not have thought about. It allows you to connect with people like Brandon, who you may not have, the opportunity. He charges a bunch of money to get on a consultation call with him, right? And now you have direct access to him, and be able to speak with him. And this is why this community is so valuable, because you get to do that. You guys get to talk to individuals who have a different perspective, who can offer solutions to any problems that you may have, just like we've just answering like Joel's question, which is super super different, and that's what we're here to do.
Yep. Yep.
Yeah. So let's see. Let's see, guys. Any other questions?
Dude,
Let's talk about what have future plans, man. What do you have going on for March?
March, man. I was doing I had a post on my stories the other day on Instagram and Snapchat. I was just testing something out just to give you an idea of how I think, maybe to give some value to people. I think it's super important to like always try new things and keep experimenting, because you never know which thing you're going to try is going to be like that thing for you. You know what I'm saying? Like, so for example, I have a business where I do, social media marketing for people. And as Lewis mentioned, I do a little bit of consulting. So I was like, okay, I had never really planned to do like a one-on-one type of consulting thing before, but I was like, let me just gauge people's interest, because people keep asking me, hey, will you, meet with me one-on-one? So I was like, okay, I'm going to post a story and do, 5 or 10 free sessions with people, just to see if I can really, provide value. And so that's what I've been doing for the past week. I just got done with one before I got on this live session with you. And it's one of those things, man, where if you keep experimenting, to my point, you might learn something. Like, you might try something new that you've never done before, and you might find, oh, I really like this. Like, oh, I really like starting a Facebook group. I really like doing Snapchat stories and making long videos and going live on Instagram. So I think the lesson to be learned from what I was just saying there was, if you're hesitating to do something, whether it be with social media or anything really, man, like, why not just do it and try it? If you fail, you fail, and just fail quick. You know what I'm saying? But if it works, it could be something that you really end up enjoying, and you could, end up helping a lot of people, which was my thought process there. So yeah.
Yeah, and to bounce off of that, like, if failing, um it's good, because once you try something and let's say it doesn't work, or one, you get to know if this is for you, right? If you guys are a good fit for each other, if what you're trying out, you're actually connecting with that. If you are, awesome, right? If you do connect, but guess what, if it doesn't work out, then the emotions that you get, and like the feeling of just having something not work out and it's seeing something go wrong, like that sticks with you. And so, like, for me, whenever I try something, right, I either learn some, like, I'm always learning something. Either it was a success, or if it wasn't a success, now I have something that actually stuck with me, that I'm like, okay, I know why this didn't work. I go back and I analyze it, and it just becomes internal, because of the feeling that it made me. Right? It's like you do something and then it doesn't work, and that's the only way to experience it, because you can only learn something, like, right? You can do it. You can just like read about it. You can watch some videos. You can hear about it. But once you try something out, it just becomes a total different experience. And if it happens to you firsthand, and you learn from it, that's when you make progress. And if you keep doing the same thing over and over again and keep failing, I mean, that same lesson is gonna keep showing up until you do something different.
Yep. Yep. Yeah,
So,
for sure.
yeah. I wanted to ask you about your Instagram. Your Instagram following is pretty huge. How did that journey start?
So It's funny. You say it's pretty huge, but we got kids out here like the backpack kid, man, that come out here doing their little dance, and they got like 1 million followers within like 12 months, dude. Like insane. But no, I started Instagram in 2012 is the answer. So I've been working on it for 6 years. So I mean,
Okay.
I probably really decided like 2014. Okay, I need to go all in on this because it's probably something that I could really leverage to my advantage. Um,
Mm-hmm.
and it has been, man. I decided, like I said, 2014 that I was going to go all in and like get serious about strategy and pushing out as much content as I possibly can with the time that I have. And yeah, man, it's a huge asset. I really believe that, and I think whether you're somebody that does real estate or if you're a plumber or it doesn't matter what you do. I think you can take advantage of something like Instagram, for example, because it's such a powerful tool, man. Like a lot of my businesses come from there. Like me and you have been jamming in the DMs. You know what I'm saying, and different stuff like that. So it's such a powerful tool to take advantage of, man. But I was actually doing a live the other day on Instagram about how you can grow your Instagram. I mean, if anybody's watching this and you understand how valuable social media is, Instagram is one of those places. For me right now, it's like my favorite place. So it just seems to be 700 million active users like every month. I mean, it's the place where the most attention is, in my experience, to where you can get the most engagement. From what I've learned, if you know how to leverage it correctly. But for anybody that cares about the strategy, it's just to answer your question here. It's basically the way it works now. I mean, it's always changing, but pretty much if you can use all of Instagram's features, because Instagram's not chronological anymore with the timeline, but those people that are able to, if you go live on Instagram, if you use stories, if you follow hashtags, people don't know you can follow hashtags now. If you do that, and you use all of Instagram
Highlights too. The highlights are huge.
of course, and not posting pictures, but posting pictures and videos too, like different types of content. That's actually going to rank you above other people that post the same time as you, because it's not in order anymore. It's based on engagement and other factors, comments. So yeah, man, I really enjoy it because, like I said, it started out as the place for me to express myself and what I'm into, and now it's the way I look at it is Instagram is basically my portfolio. It's like my digital resume. You know what I'm saying? It was funny. I had dropped out of school in May, and if you had told May of last year, and if you had told me that a year ago that I would have dropped out of school, and then what happened was a few months later, Wake Forest University Law School down here in North Carolina, where I'm at, they had me come speak at their annual tech conference, like just a few months after I dropped out, and that was the reason why was basically because of my online presence. Like they didn't ask me to do an interview or anything like that, and that's just an example. I'm not saying that to brag, but that's an example of leveraging social media to your advantage. It really is. I think it's a super powerful tool, and I just think it's super important. So
that's crazy, man. How that happens? Like you just so they invited you to speak, and what'd you speak about?
I talked. The title of my talk was actually attention. So I talked about how no matter what you do, who you are, whatever your product or service is, before you can tell anybody any of that stuff, you got to have their attention first.
Yeah.
And this happens to be where people's attention is right here. So if you're not getting people's attention there, no matter what you do, then probably someone in your industry is going to figure out how to get people's attention there, and they're probably gonna hurt you. As in other words, put you out of business probably in the next few years.
AKA.
Yeah. So that's what I believe in, man. I mean, like, look at Toys R Us. They could have been the Amazon of toys, man, but bankruptcy now. So they didn't want to innovate. They didn't want to adapt, take advantage of these, powerful tools that we have at our disposal today that we didn't even have, 5-10 years ago. So I think it's super important, man. Definitely, it's definitely something that anybody can use to their advantage. So I figure why would you not? It only takes time, really, and energy from your part. So that's kind of my thesis on that. On that. But
Yeah, it's always super rewarding. So I also got invited to speak at the university actually next month.
uh-huh.
So it's super cool. And you know, like going back and speaking, obviously like on entrepreneurship, especially for me the last few months when I was like finishing up my classes and stuff. um, every single time the professor would always ask, "Oh, like how many of you guys have like an internship? How many of you guys are like looking into getting into this job? You know, how many of you guys have done this project and this and that?" And you know, people will raise their hand and they're like, "Okay, how many of you guys are doing something else?" Out of like 300 people, bro, the only one. Like, I'm starting a business, and it like it's so weird because you know throughout these years, especially with engineering, like you're creating, right? You have all these skills to like make something for yourself.
Yeah.
Yet they don't push the idea that hey, you can innovate and make something for yourself, not necessarily go under somebody else. So I'm thinking of just like going in there in my presentation. I don't know, man, just saying something about college and like you know, it might definitely upset some people, but it's the truth. You know, like you
Yeah.
don't really need college to succeed nowadays, and especially when you have the skills that you can learn online, especially at like a fraction of the price, you know? Like
Yeah.
people go to college, they leave with a bunch of debt and you got to pay that off for years. Here, one course of $1,000 can completely change your life.
Oh yeah. And it's such an interesting conversation, right? Like, do you go to college? Like, what if you're watching this video maybe and you're 16, 17, 18, and you're like, man, I really want to start a business, or I really want to learn marketing. I want to be an entrepreneur. Like, I feel like I have that in me. Do I go and study business and marketing in college? It's an interesting conversation. I'm uh, more on your side as far as my viewpoint on that, just because like we were talking about earlier before we got on. You know, I think, or no, we were actually live when I said this. I was learning more from YouTube than I was from my professors. I can remember I was switching from bio to business because I thought that would help me, but what happened was, you know, we got to a chapter in the book. I remember we were talking about digital marketing. That was the title of the chapter. And they were talking about how, you know, Facebook is getting ready to reach 1 billion active users every month. And at the time, it was really, Facebook was at like 2 billion users a month. And I was like, dude, it's a perfect example of,
How outdated.
yeah, it's outdated. The information, by the time you print a textbook and you're going to teach it to someone, the information is actually outdated because, especially when it comes to social media, man, it like changes often, like month to month, week to week, sometimes day to day. This stuff changes, as you know, man, you know. So, yeah, I think my view on that, if anybody is interested, is like, I think if you want to learn, if you want to be a doctor or a lawyer, something like that, I think obviously college is the way to go. In my opinion here, I think that if you're looking at college, if you're going to be taking on debt, that, and maybe your parents aren't going to be helping you, maybe, or you're going to take on massive debt to try to learn to start a business, I don't think it's the best move. And I know a lot of super smart, successful business people like Gary Vee agree with that same thesis. You know what I'm saying? Just food for thought there. But yeah, man, I can remember being in class and you know, we got to that chapter about digital marketing, and I was learning a lot at the time from mentors. And you know, I think mentors are super important. You know, I think they're necessary. So I'm sitting
Yeah, I
here.
can agree with you more than you, man. Like mentors, I wouldn't like a lot of people look at what I've done in such a short amount of time, and it's all thanks to my mentors. You know, like the only reason I've made the right investments in the right people, and they have taught me a bunch of really cool stuff. And they've actually cared for me. You know, they've actually cared for me, looked out for me, and that's the power of mentors. Like people that are sleeping on mentorship or that are like not not holding back from linking up and making that connection with somebody else.
Mhm.
They sleep.
Yep. Somebody said 10x in the comments. Somebody said 10x.
10x Nikos, 10x. So yeah, guys, we've been here for, let's see, Othman, Dennis, Gustavo. What's up? We'll start wrapping this up, man.
Yeah.
Some stuff that you know before you head out, you'd love to share with this audience.
Yeah, I want to reiterate what I already said, and not really to kind of teach you anything new, but more so to. I think if you want to give me a second to say something here, it's. I would just want to say, um, it's not that I really want to share with you anything new. It's just that I would rather actually get you to take action on the things that you already know, because I mean the information's out there. If you're following people like Lewis that knows what he's talking about, or other entrepreneurs that have maybe already done what you're trying to do, then you if you've reverse engineered your goals, like you really should, which is working backwards from where you want to be, then you know what you have to do. You know the actions that you have to do. So I think instead of being a know-it-all, kind of like I was, I would say definitely be a do-it-all instead. Somebody that takes a lot of action. So if you're not where you want to be, man, just you got to take massive action, and you got to do it every single day. So that's kind of all I really care to say to anybody that happens to be watching this. That's wanting to do something big. Actually go out and do it. Like, take the action. Don't sit there and waste all your time, or spend all your time just learning about it. Actually go do something. So that's pretty much it.
Yeah, man. And for some time, I was just like learning. Like you said, you said that I think it was your girl at the time, right? She was seeing that, oh, you're so knowledgeable, but you're not doing anything.
Yep.
And same to me, it was like, it's like all this knowledge just piling up in my brain, feeding all this information. Yet I'm just like, oh, okay, yeah, I know this and that. I could tell somebody, if they were to ask me, I could speak about it. But yet, in the physical world, my results weren't like up to par with what was happening here in my brain. And that takes action. That's the next barrier that one needs to break. And once you have that breakthrough, once you start implementing, man, your life completely changes.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
So, all right, guys. So, man, Brandon, thank you so much for your time, man. Thank you for finally being able to connect and hanging out here in this group. And if there's anything I can do for you, man, and I'm so super open to connecting and doing something with you in the future.
Yeah, dude, there is something I want to ask you right now in front of everybody.
Oh,
Dude,
shit.
we need. I'm curious, like, because I wonder who all is going to see this video. Who wants to see me and Lewis do a dance video together?
Oh, bro, that would be. Let's
Uh,
make it happen. 2018.
yeah, dude. I've been thinking about that, man. That's so funny how we connected like that, man. That we're both into dance, but that's
Man, and you, bro, yeah, and you're like, some people say they dance, but no, guys, like Brandon can dance. Like he
right.
So, bro, I'm so down, man. Let's plan it. You said, how long are you? Where are you right now?
North Carolina, but I'm moving to New York in the summer is the plan. But maybe we'll cross paths somewhere, man, and we can just do like a freestyle or something, dude. Just for fun, man. Just for fun.
Yeah, I mean, I'll be down to even like go up to New York for a couple of days, or wherever you're gonna be, or wherever I'm at. Let's link up for sure. Let's make it happen this summer.
Travel. We both like to travel. I'm sure we'll probably end up running into each other somewhere along the way.
Yeah, it'll happen for sure.
Yeah.
All right, Brandon. Yep, you guys heard it here first. Collab between Brandon and I will be coming this year. But, bro, thank you so much, man. Oh, and where, on social media, where can they learn more about you? Where can they follow you in your journey?
It'll probably be easiest to connect with me on Instagram, because that's where I'm always at. It's just _ Brandon Hatcher on Instagram. You can reach me there. Easy.
And I'm gonna put it here on the screen, _ Brandon Hatcher. There you go. You guys see that? That's his Instagram. Go follow this dude. And, bro, once again, thank you. And, all right, guys, we'll see you all again pretty soon, all right?